together. Everyone on stage, it goes for back to red line. The one, the only, Steve Bedwell.
G'day, how are we all? I ate 12 packets of fruit tingles yesterday. Nothing special about that. Had a bit of a rough day. Been at the police station all morning. Questioned over breaking into a smackie's house, stealing his heroin and then selling it to buy a video recorder. So I ate 12 packets of fruit tingles, and then this morning I did a green poo, followed by 5 yellow ones, 2 red ones, and then a really weird speckly one. Now visualise this, I dare you. I like to sleep in the nude. Which, you have visualised it, haven't you? It's a pretty grouse thing to do, I reckon, except on those really long flights. Well, the Bobbit trial, the Bobbit saga is finally over, and thank fuck, I say. Lorena, John Wayne, get out of my life and don't come back, I'm sick of you. And it ended yesterday when John, and he was grateful for this, finally got his stitches out. Now, they're actually the second lot because he chewed the first lot out, which is why he was in court with a bucket over his head with the bottom out. Dr. Death is out of jail too. Good old Jack Kevorkian has finally gotten out of jail, and that's great news for the terminally ill and manic depressive. And it got me thinking, those suicide machines of his, remember them? He was hawking them around the States. Well, I don't reckon you'd buy one, I reckon you'd rent one. Or, if you're going to buy one, get a second-hand one, because I reckon there's going to be a glut of them on the market. And when it says used once by a little old lady, I reckon you can believe that. Jackson's back in the paper too, that's good to see. Gee, you can always rely on them when it's a slow news day. The Jacksons are back in the paper, not Michael, not Latoya, but it's the one who, you just never can remember his name, it's Tito. And he's saying that the family are picking on him and discriminating against him because he's black. Now it's kind of weird the way bands always have the one person whose name you can never ever remember. No matter what happens, you cannot remember their name. Even the Seekers. It was Judith, Athol, Keith and, just the other one. That's what you end up calling them, the other one. In excess even. Michael, Tim, Kirk, and the fat guy who stands at the back and plays keyboards. He's just the other one. Bee Gees, only 3 of them, Morris, Barry and the other one. And Dragon, there was the Hunter Brothers and the other ones. I wonder what happened to those guys. I don't know, I reckon Mark and Todd fucking ate them. They got Richard Clapton around and just had a big human hungy. Those guys were just beefed up. My parents used to be really rich, and Mum's an epileptic. And she had a fit at an auction one day. Lost the fucking lot, but they have got some really fucking grouse ex-government vehicles, let me tell you. Can anybody remember what used to be on those pages in magazines before the Franklin Mint ads started taking them all up? I fucking, for one, cannot. The Franklin Mint are everywhere. You cannot escape them. You cannot pick up a TV Week or an Australasian Post without seeing, some dead entertainer's bonks on a plate staring at you. And I've always resisted. I said, no, I will not buy from the dirty Franklin Mint. I hate you. But they got me. I resisted, the Star Trek chess set, pretty good, but no, close. The Yul Brenner steak knives, they got me with a limited edition collector series. Of course, they are limited edition, only make, 500,000 sets. Of a thing called Stools of the Wild West. And we're not talking bar furniture. For $49.95, once a month, I get delivered to my door a little sterling silver, gold-plated, 1/3 size replica of the last stool done by the greats of the American West. So far, I've got Custer's Last Strand, something from Daniel Boone, but they're not only good to look at, you learn things too, like Billy the Kid had an all-corn diet. Annie Oakley's coming up soon. With Annie Oakley, I get my mahogany display cabinet for my stools, so I can show them off to my friends. The great thing is about stools of the Wild West is that they do deliver them right to your door. You don't have to worry about anything. They just come straight to you once a month, delivered to your door. Sure, it's in a flaming shoebox and somebody knocks and pisses off, but they deliver them to your door. The bananas in pyjamas have just been sold to 61 countries around the world. Bananas in pyjamas, good old B1 and B2, and frankly haven't they done well since they fucked off those losers thiamine, riboflavin and iron. But they've been sold into 60 countries around the world. They've gone to Belgium, they've gone to Cyprus, they have gone to fucking everywhere except Lebanon. They said, no, we don't want them. We have our own. We have these shawarmas in pyjamas. And they have little kebab things in stripy jammies, and they have a song that goes, you know, shawarmas in pyjamas, dropping onions on the stairs. Great show. So, do you reckon they'll ever make a bloopers show in America that Don Rickles is not in? That also got me thinking what a shame it was that Robert De Niro never got to work with Reg Varney. It's just a personal thing, I suppose. I was at the RTA today getting my new licence, and isn't that a joy to be served by those lovely, courteous people there? And you can't help but think, watching all the people getting their licence for the first time, what a grouse day that is when you get your licence. You have a bit of paper that says, fuck, I'm an adult, I can drive a car. Fantastic. I have a licence. Great. A new era of social responsibility, civic acceptance. I sculled a bottle of Brandivino and stole a car and did donuts on the oval at school. But it's grouse. When you first get a car, you do things for the first time. I remember the first time you drive with a gut full of grog is really a great experience because you're not real used to driving the car yet, so you don't sort of slip into that autopilot mode and you forget stuff. Like the fact you shouldn't be driving to start with. And you have that awkward experience. I don't know if you've ever done this, but not long after I got my licence, I woke up one morning with the worst hangover I've had in years, a huge lump on my knee, and the windscreen broken in the car. And it took me 2 hours to work out that I had driven home pissed without taking the club lock off. But it makes cornering a fucking breeze. The other thing you do when you get your licence is you impress your mates. You do what you can to impress your mates in the car. Anything will do. My favourite was to get the car and 5 kilos of lamb loin chops. Then you rub the car all over with chops. Just rub the whole car. The roof, the bonnet, the doors, the windows, everything. Rub the whole car with chops. Then put what's left over into the hubcaps. And you go and get your mates. Very nonchalantly, you just pretend like you haven't rubbed the car with chops. Because, again, it's not hard because they're not really expecting it. Then you take them all, just before feeding time, to the African lion safari. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen how the King of the Beasts reacts to what it thinks is a 2-ton mobile chop with 6 people inside. It's not pretty, but it does really impress your mates. Counselling. Counselling's a weird fucking thing, isn't it? It's a very 90s thing, counselling. Counselling. Who thought of counselling? I'm not sure because I've never had it. Like, I'm a 90s guy, but, I've got a bit of 74 in the mix. Counselling. I think it's very closely related to what my nana used to call talking about it. I think. I can't be sure. You know, you get...
Old-fashioned, mate.
Sorry?
Is it old-fashioned?
Yeah, I am old-fashioned, yeah. Maybe I am. But still, counselling is still fucked, no matter how old-fashioned you are. So, you know, counselling. You get counselled for everything these days. I mean, there's grief counselling, there's trauma counselling, there's, Simo saw a car accident, get him some counselling. Jono's wife's left him, fuck, he needs counselling. I remember when counselling consisted of 24 long necks of beer, a deck of cards, and mates armed with phrases like, oh geez, you're a moody prick, mate. Fuck, you can go on and on and on and on. Your mum's dead. Well, what the fuck is wrong with just bottling it up? Or hosing. Hosing is very therapeutic for blokes. When you need to think, go out to the backyard and grab a hose and stand there and just fucking hose. You think while you're hosing because you don't have to concentrate on it. You don't actually hose anything. You just fucking... Or you do hose something. You hose the dog because it bites the water and that's funny. But you do a lot of thinking while you're hosing. And you mull things over in your mind while you're hosing. Yeah, solve anything. Give me a lawn, a bit of concrete, a hose in 2 hours. Peace in the Middle East? No worries. But you always knew when your dad was thinking very heavily while he was hosing, he'd get up from the kitchen table, I'm going for a hose. And he'd be gone, and he'd go off, and you go at the back to talk to him and say, not now, son. Stand back. I'm hosing. Like, you know, you could get fucking hurt or something. I'm a bit of a traditional hoser myself. I don't have any attachments on the hose. I just have the hose cut off with that flopping bit of water that just comes out. And when I want to spray, I use my fucking thumb. That's hosing. Counselling. Counselling my ass. Counselling and workout videos are the two things that the 90s have given us. Dirty workout videos. Who needs them? Cher has done one. I see Zsa Zsa Gabor has done one. Cindy Crawford has done one. LaToya Jackson has done one. But you've got to have a look at them. So I went and got one the other day. I got the new Fonda workout tape. And it's pretty grouse because it's not Jane, it's Peter. And what you do is you get up in the morning, get really pissed, smoke a couple of joints, ride your motorbike over to your sister's place and beg for money. So, see you later.